Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah, well, join us next week as we go inside Trump's cabinet.
Oh, geez. This whole podcast took a really weird turn.
Yeah.
So, I think we're done.
That would be great if we just did that and then did nothing with it. We were still just doing this. It was like we were in Trump's cabinet just talking about whatever stupid property we're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, next week we have to start it with we're inside Trump's cabinet.
Right,
Yep.
Yeah, and we're gonna make Star Trek into a TV show or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah. But we're inside his actual cabinet, like his China cabinet.
We'd actually be more effective.
Oh shit! Topical humor.
End it there. We're not gonna ever get that good again.
Hey, thanks for joining us on Storied, a podcast where we take one piece of media and transform it into another.
Yeah, this week we're going to be talking about Super Mario, the Mario Brothers, Luigi and Mario, Peach, the brother of Peach, and Toad.
She's my favorite brother.
Yeah, she's pretty useful. But yeah, we're going to be turning that into some sort of genre thing. We don't exactly know what, but Mario's pretty much in the same kind of Disney-ish Saturday morning cartoon vein most of the time. So we're going to be translating that into something maybe a little darker or a little lighthearted or
more lighthearted than normal.
Yeah, it's not lighthearted enough as it is.
I think in the alternate dimension where Nintendo has will allow someone to take the rights of this and make a movie out of it again, where the first movie with Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo never got made. That's already kind of dark and weird and totally off tone for that license. We're just going to pretend that never existed and just make our own thing, I think.
Yeah. Well, and let's just talk a little bit before we jump into this about how lighthearted it is.
It's pretty lighthearted.
It is while you're playing it, but the story is real grim.
Go on.
It's like this monster keeps abducting this woman
to marry her.
She doesn't learn from her mistakes in the past. She's not traumatized by it somehow, and Mario always has to save her by himself.
He's got a brother. Let's not.
Well, but Luigi doesn't help.
No, what's good about that is that Luigi only shows up after Mario has failed, right? Once you lose a life, as in the original NES Super Mario Bros. Or even Super Nintendo, it's Mario gets his first shot, and then when he fucks up, it's all right, Luigi, this is your shot.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm not who's good at my brother.
But Luigi jumps higher than his brother, which is ironic because Mario's known for his jumping ability.
Yeah, but he kicks his legs weird.
That's true. Yeah, no one likes that. That's weird. Luigi, you're weird.
Yeah. It is real weird.
He always just looks confused, too.
Yeah, that's true.
Every time, every mission. It's oh my god, there's scary turtle guys. And Mario's
I love these accents.
This is literally all we do.
This is who we live here.
Why are you so confused? Just go outside.
In the manual for the very first, not very first, but the regular Nintendo Mario Brothers, there's that was back in the day when they felt that they had to sort of give a reason for all the weird shit that's in those games. And they gave the explanation for why there's blocks in the world, which was completely unnecessary, but the reason is absolutely grotesque. The reason in the manual that there are blocks in the Mario, in Mushroom Kingdom, are that those are all the inhabitants of the kingdom, that they were magically turned into blocks by Bowser, and you run around and smash them open and rip their guts out and break them into pieces.
Like their souls.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but you're taking their mushrooms and stars, but you're smashing your head into them and punching them and breaking them into pieces, and you're killing these people. Which that's completely not a necessary thing to explain in a game. But they decided to make the most horrific thing they possibly could.
And then Mario takes their money because they're fucking grave robber.
Their dead bodies.
Yeah.
Do you think he knows? Do you think he knows?
I think we know what had him start the story.
Yeah.
It's also weird that there's no police or knights even in this world. It's just the plumbers are the the heroes.
Yeah, there's like they don't have a standing army at all. Like you'd think, well, I guess it's the Toads, because like whenever like Princess Peach gets captured, there's like a shitload of Toads freaking out and running around and going, "Who will save her?"
Yeah, I mean they're peaceful, right? Like they're a peaceful kingdom, and then Bowser comes along and starts, abducting. The Mario Odyssey 2. I don't know if you guys have played it yet.
Yeah,
but
I have.
There's some really weird, like Bowser's like the whole quest that he's on while you're following him around is to gather things for the wedding. Like he really wants to get married to her. It's like weirdly like chivalrous of somebody who's going to abduct her.
Yeah, he like wants to actually go through the ceremony and everything. Like,
yeah, it's like I just want to marry you, and you don't want to marry me, so I'm going to just abduct you and take you all over the world
card.
And gather. yeah, exactly. He's just marrying her for her riches or something.
It's like, you can do whatever you want. I just need I'm gay. Like I just need a beard, whatever reason.
Oh man, that actually totally makes sense. He's also like a single father.
Well, yeah, he has like 40 kids. I mean, it doesn't mean that he's not gay, but he has 40 kids.
Yeah, he totally does. But like also Bowser.
I don't even want to begin to know how giant turtle monsters' mating habits work.
Yeah, I think we might want to just shy away from that one in this whatever this this theme sort of genre twist that we're gonna do is gonna be. But the weird thing is that like he's also known as King Koopa, so he's a king of some land, right? Some like far off, overly militarized world that has like floating airships and cannons and like all the world's weapons apparently, like bullet bills and fire flowers and shit. And so he's obviously coming from also a place of wealth and power, a la Russia or something. It has like a shitload of like military shit lying around and tanks and stuff. If you play Mario 3, and so I'm not really sure what he's getting out of this marriage. Like he clearly already has a lot of power and money and stuff.
I'm pretty sure Peach is the only woman. In this entire
the only woman.
I've never
She's
seen
like, the only option. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, I guess there's like 3 versions. It depends on which system you're playing it on. Like Mario's got all 3 of them, right? It's like Peach and
well, there's Daisy and there's Toadette
and Rosaline. What the hell's the one girl's name?
Oh, Rosalina.
Yeah.
Rosalina. Yeah.
But there's Paulina too, who was the jump man like Donkey Kong. The girl, the damsel in distress you rescue in Donkey Kong. That was a different girl named Paulina, who's the mayor of New Donk City in the new game.
Oh, really? She's the same one?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
There's a little Donkey Kong level in New Donk City.
Oh, man. I haven't gotten there yet. But, she does a little dance.
I don't want to ruin it, but...
No, she does a little dance. There's like a scene I've seen online where she does like a dance. Like there's like a celebratory scene or whatever. Mario's up there and she's doing this like weird kick dance, like a weird like Seinfeld Elaine dance. And it's supposed to be the dance that her sprite does in Donkey Kong. Like it's this weird like shuffle. And that's what she does when she's like being abducted by Donkey Kong in the original Donkey Kong. So there's a lot of cute little callbacks to, abducting women, I guess if you want to call that cute in the new Mario.
It's a great game.
Yeah.
These games are all about abducting women. The weird thing about Donkey Kong is you save her in every level. Like,
yeah, you lose her also apparently.
Yeah, but it's weird. It's like a weird just give up, Mario. Or Jumpman, as he was called then.
Yeah. Well, he honed in on how to keep a princess around for, I guess, more than a day. But eventually she gets stolen again. No,
he sucks, man. Every princess he's around, he's like bad for princesses. He should just go, be alone by himself because, he must be bad luck for Peach. She's always getting abducted too.
But
they're all getting abducted.
But then there's no job security. Like, once he rescues the damsel,
maybe he's in on it.
Oh shit!
This whole time it's just been him and Bowser, and he gets showered with kisses and riches every single time he saves her. And then
he's made a baron and a lord, and they split
he's just working his way up. One of these days, she's gonna marry me.
I like that too because there's definitely other than a kiss on the cheek, Mario. There's no romantic relationship between Peach and Mario. Just showed in any of those games. She bakes him a cake and kisses him on the cheek when he saves her, and that's kind of it. So it's not like he's going to marry her either, right?
Well, I love the idea that, like, that he keeps saving her, and she's always grateful. But like, he's done it so many times, but they just get to the end of it, and like, we go like 2,000 times later, you know, where he saved it for the 2,000th time, and then she's just like, "Hey," and he's like, "Hey."
Yeah, he's like, kind of phoning in on this one.
Should we go now? And he's like, "Yeah, I guess we should just." Yeah.
Bowser's like, "See you guys next Monday."
Yeah.
She's like, "Why don't you just kill him? Like, murder him? So that he just can't do this anymore."
That's really good.
I dropped him in lava like 400 times.
He's like, "I don't know what else to do. I've fought his
Shoot
disembodied
him! Shoot
head.
him in the face!"
maybe lava doesn't kill him, she says. Like, maybe just try something else. You know?
Mario's
maybe,
not very creative.
I tried throwing him onto a bomb.
That's true, yeah. I've dropped him down a endless pit. Like, for some reason, what if it's a different Bowser, though? What if he, like, is a whole family of them, and it's like a family business now?
But he's just Rasputin.
Yo, man, it's just impossible to kill.
Oh my god, you know, we should make Mario into, oh god, what was that movie with Robert Carlyle? Ravenous. We should just make the Ravenous Mario movie.
You're going to have to describe that for me and our listeners.
Okay, so I think it was the early mid-90s. There's a movie called, there's a movie called Ravenous, and it was Guy Pearce.
Yeah, Guy Pearce. It's Guy Pearce, Robert Carlyle. The guy that was like in Mom and Dad Saves the World, who's the principal in Ferris Bueller.
Jeffrey Jones.
Yeah.
Who was later convicted of child pornography, I think.
Oh, bummer.
But anyway, it's about a group of guys that kind of go missing from like a Civil War fort, like an outpost, and they go after them, like looking for them. Like they find one guy left. And it's Robert Carlyle, and they take him back to the base, and then he's become like a crazy cannibal man.
Okay,
but they don't know it, and
there's like a potential supernatural twist to it that they never really like tell you whether or not it's true. But there's like this ancient Native American spirit called the Wendigo, which is like a soul eater or something that he may or may not be possessed by. It's a bizarre fucking movie.
It's really weird. I mean, like, tonally, it's all over the place. Like, the music is incredibly strange.
It's also got David Arquette in it, who plays
David Arquette is in it.
He plays a pothead, like, in the fucking Civil War. He, like, gets high with this Indian all the time, and he's just, like, giggling like an asshole. It's really bizarre.
So, anyway, that's Waluigi.
Perfect.
And, they go, and Wario is Robert Carlyle.
Oh man! So
I love Waluigi's name. I just need to point that out. It's like Wario. We flip the M. This is great. He's like the reverse Mario. Like, what's the Luigi version?
Wow, Luigi.
Yeah, it would be like Luigi. Yeah,
or Juigi, but then you can't do that.
What does he say all the time? Wah.
Well, they literally they just took the war apart and just shoved it in front of Luigi.
Yeah, they didn't flip an M into a W or anything. It took like half the time. Even, like Mario to Wario is not exactly a giant logical leap, but somehow they got to Waluigi. I'm sure it took them half the time.
Somebody was like, "Does this work? Wario is an upside down M," and they're like, "Who gives a shit? It's fucking Luigi." And just make him stupid.
I don't think it took them half the time, though. I don't think it took them half the time because what I think they probably did was they tried to make it a
yeah, they tried over and over, and it's like, fuck it, nothing's working. Just, I don't know, Waluigi.
It was like on the bottom of the list the whole time, and they just had to go with it.
Yeah, actually, that sounds a lot more realistic.
Waluigi would be better.
Waluigi?
Waluigi. He's like a little boy. He's just cute.
Waluigi.
I'm Waluigi.
Holy shit. Can you imagine, like, Waluigi, like, as he is, but not lanky, and just really, like minuscule and small, like half the size of Mario?
I can.
Yeah. I don't like that vision at all. So I like this sort of like premise that you've set up. I want to explore it a little bit. So like the way that you are describing it, it's almost like Mario. So the premise has always been, at least the way that I've interpreted it, is that Mario and Luigi are from the real world, until Mario Odyssey, where all the human beings in New Donk City are like normal proportioned, I'd always imagined that Mario and Luigi came through a pipe to Mushroom Kingdom from the real world. Like all the like ancillary stuffs, like they're from Brooklyn or New York or whatever. Like,
well, you're thinking of the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, right?
Yeah, the Super Show, and also the movie, and like a lot of sort of like Nintendo, canon things have sort of placed them in the real world, and they sort of came through a pipe to the Mushroom Kingdom, right? So is there any space for like them having gone through this weird psychedelic adventure in the Mushroom Kingdom and then popping back out of the pipe in like Brooklyn, and they're PTSD'd and scarred and like they're trying to tell people about this weird like story about this princess in this magical kingdom and this like giant lizard that they had to like shoot fireballs out of their hands and stuff, and everyone's like, oh my god, these guys have real problems. Like, they're possessed. Maybe one of them's possessed by a fucking weird spirit or something. Is that the?
It's like 12 Monkeys.
Like Jacob's Ladder of
Wow, 2 different references. That was good.
Yeah, he's just Bruce Willis in 12 Monkeys. He goes back and like they just put him straight into the insane asylum.
I love that so much. He's like sent back to to stop the event from like destroying the world, and they're like, okay, this guy's clearly crazy. Throw him in the fucking loony bin. It's really good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's weird. It's like you're gonna have to map. I mean, we could do a couple of these. It feels like
there's definitely some space for sure.
Yeah, because like there's all kinds of weird stuff you could do with Mario, but like, what's good, right? Like,
yeah,
Mario isn't much of a character, right?
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of defining characteristics other than like being an extreme Italian stereotype and talking like at least in the cartoons and stuff, talking about pasta a lot because once again, extreme Italian stereotype and a plumber. And I guess that's the like pipe, like that's how you get to the pipe connection. And he has a brother, and that's literally everything we know about him. He's a good guy. He's a nice guy. He's got a good mustache. That's everything we got. And only owns one pair of clothes.
He's very happy. He makes friends with all kinds of like hats. And
I was going to say hats, but that was very recent.
And mushroom people, like sentient mushrooms.
He loves stomping on mushrooms.
Yeah, he that's his other thing. He loves stepping on things. He's got like a weird like crush fetish.
Man, there's a good movie here where he goes back to New York, and nothing's the same, and he goes back to plumbing and he's miserable, and then we do like a taxi driver thing. Brooks. No, where he goes and he's trying to like regain, like there's like a montage or a sequence or like a motif running through the movie where he keeps going back to things and trying to crush them under his feet, but he can't. Yeah, like he steps on a leaf, like at the beginning, like and you see him move his foot out of the way, and like then a second later he like tries to jump, and it's like he can't go as high. Yeah,
well, he makes the sound effect away, himself. Like he steps on the leaf and goes whoop whoop whoop. Like
he goes to the store. You see him like putting mushrooms into the basket.
It's like, sir, you can't just have those. You have to pay for those.
When he goes home, and then you cut to him home like just ravenously eating mushrooms and not getting bigger.
I mean, there's definitely like a weird like drug metaphor with that, right? Where like you eat a bunch of shrooms and you get big. Like all the perspectives change and things get fucking weird, right? Like that. There's definitely something. I guess that's just it's the mushroom kingdom, so your power ups are going to be mushrooms. But there's definitely like a weird connection there.
Yeah, it's cocaine. You know, like you take it.
It was the '80s, that's for sure.
It's just fucking mushrooms. Like he just eats so many mushrooms that he just sees a giant turtle monster.
Yeah, exactly. It's really just he's high all the time.
Yeah,
and this is just his life. Yeah, that's good. Every pipe that you go down in Mario is actually just it's a job he's on. He's just fixing pipes.
That's really good.
And he's going.
It's like, why did you hire this guy? Well, listen, he's my cousin's friend. And he's like trying to get out, kick an addiction. Like, I just thought, I just want to give him a chance. But he's like, it's fucking freaking me out. He's like singing to himself.
Man. It's so. And Luigi's the normal one who's not getting high all the time.
Yeah.
Because he's like such a drag, right?
Yeah, he's totally
So, like,
square.
Yeah, so Mario just sees him that way. So that's why he's like that in the games.
Yeah, he's like Luigi only gets to go when Mario's done. You wait till Mario's finished, and then Luigi can go.
God, this is dumb.
No, it's good. It's very, very good.
I was like, so what's going on?
We're telling a depressing story about a man who gets high all the time, eats a lot of mushrooms, pretends to jump high, does a job regularly that transports him into a magical world like Walter Mitty, and then at the end of it, he has to kick the habit because his brother turns out to be right and not as lame as he initially thought.
So, let's put some stakes in the ground, right? Like, is the entire event so? Do we join him on his weird hallucination journey into this world and have him does he accomplish a goal? Is during this in this movie? I'm assuming it's a feature length movie. He has this weird experience, or is it we don't even see that he's doing the drugs. We just see him enter a weird universe, and it's revealed later that it was actually because he was high as shit.
No, the whole thing's like a gritty indie movie, and this is how I'm seeing it. And Peach is there, and she's like a clerk at a grocery store nearby him, and wears a pink uniform, and he sees her all the time, and he's in love with her, and he's a swarthy chubby man with a porn stash, and so she won't talk to him, and so he imagines he has these elaborate fantasies about rescuing her so that she loves him.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, indie film is definitely where the vibe I'm getting from this really sad, tragic tale of this man.
Yeah, I'm imagining he doesn't have much money, so he always wears his work coveralls, his red work coveralls all the time.
Yeah,
he just wears them all the time, and
and his big puffy gloves.
Yeah,
well, he's got
exactly.
elephantitis in the hands. Is what or he's got weird swollen hands because of all the drugs he does.
And all those weird noises he makes is he's going, oh, those are just him noises he makes while he's high. You see it from Luigi's perspective for a minute. He's just sitting in a chair, drooling and going, oh, oh.
Oh my god! I do love that Mario does not have he has the most unexpected voice for an Italian plumber character.
Have you ever seen the guy who does his voice?
Yeah, he's just a charming older guy.
Yeah,
he's just a delightful
guy. He just looks like a lawyer or something.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
The story I heard about that was when they were doing the casting for the first time he was going to have a voice. For Mario 64. Everyone else in the room was doing what you would expect that character to sound like, and that particular gentleman whose name I can't remember off the top of my head was I'm just going to do the exact opposite just so I stand out, even if it sounds absolutely fucking asinine. And so he just went with the most high-pitched, goofy, adorable sound he could. And they're like, that's it. That's our Mario, which is such a fucking weird way to, cast a character. Yeah.
Didn't he sound similarly in the old TV show, the old cartoon?
I don't know. He had
had
hey, it's me, Mario.
Well, the cartoon didn't sound was it Lou Albano? Did he also do the voice?
I think so.
I don't know. That's a really good question.
It's on Netflix, I think, or Hulu.
Yeah, I actually looked it up for this, and then I was like, I don't want to watch that.
Oh, man, you missed out. It's good.
You're missing out on Captain N.
Captain,
we're getting into the weeds
Nintendo?
Now. Yeah, he's
Captain
Captain Nintendo.
He had a zapper blaster.
And he had the controller belt buckle.
Yeah. I used to wrap it around my waist and then connect my blaster to it.
That was on the Super Show?
Play.
Yep.
Yeah, it was that, and then the Zelda show was every Thursday.
And it's Nintendo varsity jacket?
Yeah, it was just had an N on it.
Yeah.
I think that he must have had that before he went into the Nintendo world, and everyone just started calling him Captain N. He's like, no, it's not. My name's Jonathan. No, you're Captain N because you have an N on your jacket. No, my name, okay, I guess I don't have a name here.
I go to Nicholas Biddle High School or whatever the hell it is.
Nicholas Tendo.
Nintendo.
Yeah, right. Exactly. You got it. See, you get it.
I do get it.
So let's continue diving into this fucking like weird indie movie that has weird like dream sequences and very odd licensed music.
Well, I think I think we should move on. I think we should do it.
Oh, do it. Everyone, come here.
I don't want to make this.
It's amazing. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm super into this one.
It's called Super Mario, the movie. It's called Super Mario, and Super is ironic because he sucks.
Super
I wish taking my
sucky
headphones
Mario.
off made a noise.
But he gets.
Does he get super?
No, but he imagines himself to be super.
This is like
and he's not.
It's like a Shutter Island type thing.
I'm trying to think of an analog to it. It's like more like The Beach with Leonardo DiCaprio. You know that sequence at the end of the movie where he's like in the woods by himself, like getting high and pretending that he's like defending it.
I've never
Do you
seen
remember
it.
this at all? Oh well. Anyway,
Isn't it Danny Boyle?
it's fucking weird. It's not a good movie, but
Wow, you really
but this
sell that
is
good.
neither.
No, this is great. It's going to do really well at Sundance. So, Chris, you pitched earlier before we started recording a noir Mario, and I want you to describe that one to me.
Yeah, it's just Mario like in black and white.
Done. Wow, shit, that was easy. That's just noir, right? Like,
Hang on, before we move on, I have one more thing to say about the other thing. Peach, who works at the grocery store, her name isn't Peach, but she one time handed him a peach.
I thought it was going to be way better than that. But I'm glad it wasn't.
and so he doesn't know her name because she doesn't wear a name tag, so he just calls her Peach.
I'm downgrading this from indie movie to like student film.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, noir.
Yeah, that's as far as I gotten.
I knew you were going to say that's as far as I thought it through. Son of a bitch. I mean, it's jokes aside, it does kind of fit a similar mold of, you know, there is a protagonist and a damsel in distress, and there is a big like mob boss. He's like usually like intimidatingly large and powerful person, and he has like a squad of dumbass goons who are like tripping all over each other to like do something or hide something or steal something or kill somebody, and they keep failing. So I can definitely see that.
You need to make it so that like the movie opens with like Mario's a private eye with his brother Luigi. They have a Mario Brothers Detective Service.
Can we get Bob Hoskins for this as well? Because he also did Who Framed Roger Rabbit, so this is perfect. For him. Except he's dead.
But it's their names are their name is. I think this is actually canon. I might be wrong, but their names are Luigi Mario and Mario
That's
Mario.
just from the movie. That's not
Is
actually.
it?
They don't have last names. I don't think. I know that the Mario and Luigi Mario shit was definitely the movie. The Bob Hoskins movie.
I feel like
we can just use that. That's fine. Like about the quality of that movie.
Of that movie, yeah. Somebody's like, how do they explain the Mario Brothers thing? Well, their last name is also Mario. Okay, cool. I don't need to see it. Goodbye.
That's it. Done.
Well, so they have, it's Mario Brothers Detective Agency or whatever. Mario's a drunk. Peach comes in dressed in her, she's not in black and white. She's wearing a pink like suits with like a big hat.
She's like the little girl in red in Schindler's List.
Yeah, exactly. And her lips are pink, but her face is black and white. And then she comes in and she has a case for Mario. And then that leads to Bowser being like a big land baron or something who's trying to usurp her land.
Yeah,
kingdom.
It's like that. It's like a Chinatown kind of thing where
So is he? So like, because the way that the game is set up, like I said earlier, like Bowser obviously is influential, but he's like, I'm always assuming that whatever realm he comes from, like the Koopa land that he comes from, is kind of shitty. And he's like exploited the shit out of the workforce and the people there or whoever. Like he's somehow risen to the top of a shitty place.
It's like a slumlord.
Yeah, exactly right. Like he's a slumlord and he's got a shitload of money, but everyone around him is miserable. And he's like, okay, I'm kind of running out of money. I need to make a move. And so he, there's this damsel that he can kind of go after, and he thinks he can kind of push around her muscle, or maybe even marry for her her land and her
Yeah,
inheritance.
like he's ruined his own world, so now he's coming to this world, and he's going to take it over.
Right, exactly.
There would potentially, I mean, and maybe it's not that cool, but there's a potentially actually cool version of this in which, like, Mario is in the real world and Peach approaches him and she's very quiet about everything and doesn't give much detail, and like just asks him to dig into one specific thing, and then he, like, through his investigation uncovers the world from which, like if it gets getting dangerously close to Dennis Hopper as King Koopa, but Koopa first presents himself as like a person, and then like he sees behind the curtain in his investigation and realizes that Koopa's a big fucking turtle monster, and then there's like a pipe that leads to like another world. You know what I mean? He's just like shoving his treasures and bounties into this pipe, and then Mario like investigates and ends up finding the Mushroom Kingdom and all this shit.
It's
I don't know why I thought it would.
I didn't.
It depends on the presentation, obviously, but it's like if you started it as of like, all right, this is a straight up real world detective story, and then it just gets complicated and weird the further he goes along in his investigation.
I actually kind of considered that this whole thing would either take place entirely in the Mushroom Kingdom or entirely in the real world, and we would just place it wouldn't go. It was never like there would never be like a twist where you find out there's a whole other world. It would just be a straight, like, you know, he breaks into a warehouse and, you know, finds goons like moving boxes or like, you know, she's like tied up in the chair with a single like light over her head, and just like really, really noir scenes like that, or someone stalking her, you know, in like on a San Francisco style street, you know, and there's like two cars on the road and it's all foggy. Like I had never even imagined like there's a reveal of another world in this one.
There's definitely a car chase and a couple of go-karts.
Yeah. Well,
oh shit!
That's the thing. Like, it needs to. I think you're right, Harrison. But the aesthetic needs to be like, it's all of that stuff translated into the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yes, that's totally
like, the
fine
Mushroom
with
Kingdom is made into the noir. So it's like, you know, Mario. His office is in like a stylized mushroom hut. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No. Okay. I'm down with that. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's either all in the real world or all in the Mushroom Kingdom.
And then like there are toads everywhere, like with high popped collar like trench coats on.
And they're
See, that's interesting because I saw the opposite, especially because we were talking earlier about Mario. I think in canon, and being from like New York or wherever the hell he's from, being from Brooklyn, and I just thought it would be a fun switch to like set it up like you think it's noir, and then like all of a sudden Mario's sneaking into like a warehouse. And then he just starts to see, like, all of a sudden he's like, what the fuck? And there's just this, like, you know, it's Koopa with his mask off and all this crazy shit. Like,
well, you could do it you could do it that way, you know. I mean, there's a couple ways to do it. Because, like, the way that I was thinking about it is, like, you literally just take all the tropes from Mario and map them to a noir.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And make that, like, legitimate noir. But you could also make it so that, like, it is a legitimate noir and then it turns into a Mario thing. Like, there's two ways to do it.
Yeah, I like that we play this totally straight, but we put it in the Mushroom Kingdom. Like, there is a chase scene with go-karts, but it's played totally straight, right? Like, it's the tone of it is like,
absolutely.
Holy shit.
When he drops that
like,
banana peel.
Yeah, no, yeah, totally. But like, it's the double dash carts where like
real.
some guy's leaning out the back, and instead of like shooting a Tommy gun, he's like throwing a blue shell or whatever, right? And like they careen off into the fucking like water, and now it's a fucking like underwater level, and they're like swimming
like
around, and there's
Malone.
fucking bloopers and shit. Yeah, yeah.
Well, there's a you know, you said Roger Rabbit earlier, and that's actually a great like if you think about the chase sequence with Benny, you know. Like, right. It's like a ridiculous, like, cartoon car that's, like, going up on accordion legs. But yep. Then later in the movie, they throw the dip down and he, like, runs through it and, like, he's, like, hurts his tires, you know, and he can't drive anymore and shit. Like,
there's real
you could totally play it that way. Yeah. That would be really good to have.
That movie gets bananas creepy at the end. Like when,
oh my god, does it ever?
It's real dark.
It's super dark.
What's his name? Something Doom? Professor Doom? Christopher Lloyd.
Judge Doom.
Judge Doom.
Yeah. When he melts, it's the fucking scariest thing in the world.
Yeah, I remember seeing that and being fucking traumatized. Like, no, I was traumatized when they kill the little shoe. And it's like shivering in his hand, and it just the moment it touches it, and like he's freaking out, and there's like a squeal, and like you watch it melt and die, and it's like really cute. It's fucked up, man. It's really fucked up.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up. That movie generally too. It's also like it's a kids movie that's got like sex with cartoons.
Yep.
Yeah.
And also it's got like like legit like noir murder shit going on. And also the plot is about like trying to
like land rights, like a will and testament.
Exactly. And like and getting rid of like it's about rich men trying to get rich by creating doing away with something that like the train cars, where everybody can ride it for a nickel. They're trying to dismantle it so they make more money on the highways.
Yeah,
and it's like such a weird.
It's super cerebral in that way for sure.
It's literally like what if Chinatown were half animated. That was the pitch.
That is basically what that movie is.
Yeah, and it's great. It's a great
amazing.
movie.
Yeah, it's like thank God they took that risk because it's something like you've never seen before and never will again until we make this worse version Mario movie.
It's the best version, I think, is what you're trying to say to our listeners who have listened so far into this episode so kindly, so patiently.
Oh, excuse me. It was a slip of the tongue.
Well, Eddie also, if you remember, like Eddie Valiant from Roger Rabbit had a brother that was killed, so we could have Luigi just be dead.
Oh my God, I love that.
I love
that.
Like
that's so perfect for his character to just be fucking off screen.
Yeah, exactly.
Good.
You start it, and there's just pictures of him everywhere, looking happy as fuck.
Yep.
And meanwhile Mario's like depressed as hell that he's dead. And just like there's a scene later in the movie where he like picks his picture up off the desk, and he's like, "I don't know what's going on anymore, Luigi."
I love in this version he still talks like that.
No, he totally does.
Exactly.
100% he talks like that. I like the idea that like he like picks a picture up and goes, "I don't know, Luigi. You were always this was your dream. Like you were always the one who jumped higher than me. Like you were always the better detective."
The voiceover is all in Mario's voice, like where he's like, "The day came into my
the internal thought monologue."
Yeah, that's fucking incredible.
It's like hard-boiled detective shit read like Mario. It'd be
with like
so good.
a ton of like similes and metaphors and shit. Like her legs went down forever. Like,
this is completely, it has nothing to do with this, but that is my dream project that will only be entertaining to me if I ever got to make anything I want. It's going to be like a World War II style film that takes place in like World War II Italy, and it's like a long sequence at the beginning that's really heartbreaking, and nobody talks, and then when somebody finally talks, like it's not translated, it's just people talking like that. Do you know what I mean? But
when you put English subtitles underneath it anyway.
It's just played completely straight, and then when people finally start speaking, it's just we didn't make any effort. It's just people putting on really bad Italian accents in perfect English.
I can think of at least one group of people that would probably be offended by that.
Well, this podcast is also going to offend them then.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we've said up front that Mario is a really, really bad Italian stereotype.
That's true.
So
I'm Italian, so I can say it.
I don't think you can, but I'm going to let it slide just so that we can keep moving on.
Oh my God. I literally want to make this now.
Yeah, no, this is really good.
That makes it worthwhile to me.
Yeah, that's like, I remember when Wreck-It Ralph came out, people were excited because it would kind of be like a new kind of Roger Rabbit, where it was like, because in Roger Rabbit, obviously, like Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse, I think, were in it. And some other cartoon celebrities, and they were like excited because they were like, "Oh, Sonic and Mario and all these different IPs are going to be in the same kind of universe." And then that didn't happen, and I think a lot of game developers were kind of like, "I wish that movie had been made by people who appreciated video games." But I think that there hasn't been a movie like that in a long time, and I feel like Mario would actually be weirdly the best property for it.
It's weird because Nintendo will just never let anyone have the license, and they're so protective with their like IPs that we could never like there's no chance of you ever seeing another type of video game character in this world. I mean, this would be squarely a Mario and Mario's pals, like core main game pals, not like weird side game pals only thing. But there's plenty of room.
Oh my God. I'm sorry.
No,
sorry.
No. I love whatever was important enough to interrupt me. I just
thought of having another femme fatale show up, but it's Birdo.
Oh
from Mario
shit!
2, and then whenever she comes into the office and she doesn't actually speak English. She just goes, you know.
Oh my god!
And like,
he's like, I'm sorry, I don't speak. I don't speak.
Yeah,
that
he's
language.
like getting her to write shit down on a piece of paper so you can understand what the fuck she's saying.
And he steps back to his and pours a drink, and we hear his inner monologue, and he's like, "Fucking the bird does," and he just like starts talking.
Yeah, exactly. And then like an egg just comes out of her mouth, and she leaves it there.
Yeah.
And he like kicks it into the corner, but it becomes important later in the story.
Oh, absolutely! He loses it under the desk somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. And then later on, he remembers, and then he goes and cracks it open, and it's got like the safe combination that he needed.
Oh my god, I love that.
No, what
She
he does
came to
is,
him
like,
to stash some important information, and then she gets like offed in the next scene.
what
Yeah, he finds her dead.
What happens is somebody runs off with Peach, and
There's just a stool sitting on top of her. I'm sorry.
It's like,
Wow.
there's like a car chase sequence when somebody runs off with Peach, and he can't get to his car fast enough. He's like, I gotta get going, and he just gets somebody to throw that egg and just jumps on top of it and rides it for as long as he possibly can.
Then he like somehow picks it up.
Yeah. While he's moving on it and just drops straight down.
There'll be a lot of really, really deep cut references like that in this like gritty noir film with a narration that completely ruins the tone for sure.
I'm genuine. I would be genuinely excited to see somebody do this and just fold that stuff in and give it reverence. You know what I mean? Like not have it be goofy and just really like that kind of moment.
This whole thing you play is totally straight. So here's I guess my question: if we were to play it totally straight, would it be because it's funny, or would we be like, no, this is actually going to be like a serious Mario?
I think it would just be funny by the sheer nature of just playing it straight. You don't have to do it on purpose. You know?
I know that's
The
what I'm
Big
asking.
Lebowski style. You know, it's like the Big Lebowski is like it's played straight as hell, but it's funny.
That's kind of what I'm asking. Like
Yes,
we're going to play it straight, but we're doing it for the comedy purposes. We're not actually trying to make a serious movie.
But Big Lebowski, what that does is it takes characters that you wouldn't see in a noir and just puts them in noir roles, and that's funny. Like that juxtaposition is funny. You know what I mean? It's like the detective is the pothead idiot.
Yeah,
like,
but they don't.
slacker.
Like, the movie is entirely made like
It's
a noir. Like,
exactly. Yeah.
There's no. They don't like. It's not trying to be funny. You know, it just is funny because of that.
Totally.
They
But
trusted
yes.
it that it was funny.
Yes, but what they do is like they juxtapose and like subvert in a way that it's just that like it's still given it sets up the characters to just keep on giving comedy. And I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying like the difference would be like where Big Lebowski and the dude is not a detective and just completely ill-equipped for the job. Mario would be doing detective shit, and it would feel like a Sin City-ish, heavy, like high stakes detective kind of feel. But just the literal imagery and the things that were happening, the physicality would be adapted from the Mario universe. So that juxtaposition would be funny. Like it wouldn't be coming from, in Big Lebowski, you're laughing at. He like rubs the pencil on the paper, and it's just a drawing of a giant cock. It's so good, but
Which is also the only thing he does in the whole movie that's active.
It's the one time he has an idea, and it just fucking is a dick. It's so good.
But in this, like Mario would be like you'd have a scene, and
he'd be a capable detective. Yeah,
he would actively be running and doing detective things like eavesdropping and following and shadowing and all that kind of stuff. It would just be, when he gets shot at, somebody just throws a turtle shell at him. But
it's a fire flowers.
Yeah, we'd give it all the reverence of like as if he were getting shot at, as Sam Spade getting shot at in the Maltese Falcon would get, but it's fucking stupid looking,
Yeah,
right.
I think that. The way I've always, just from us talking about this, the way I say always as if I've thought about this my whole life, but which secretly I have. But the idea that Luigi was the like, even though he's the younger brother, he's the one who wanted to go into this life, and he's like the actual he's the brains of it. Where Mario might be like the Eddie Valiant sort of brawn, like he's a street smart guy, whereas like Luigi was like the actually good detective who could use logic and find clues and stuff. And so Mario
and he cared
has
about
to
people.
Yeah, exactly. And Mario doesn't have that, but he has the street smarts that like Eddie Valiant or whoever does, and he's able to sort of just think on his feet and put the clues together, but like a little bit too late, you know. So he can like I think that Mario would grow in his role as detective, and definitely Eddie Valiant style come to terms with like his like Luigi's death. God, it's weird to talk about this throughout the movie and like sort of like find the qualities in Luigi that made him a good detective and sort of channel that stuff. You know, later in the movie, like I think that like the first time he meets Bowser, you know, he tries to go up against him, maybe like gets into a fight with him or whatever, and he just gets his ass kicked, and he realizes that like you know he can't just throw his fists at a problem, and you know he's intimidated by this, and he doesn't know what to do next, and he's sort of you know depressed about it, or you know doesn't know who to talk to or what to do about it, and he's able to sort of like you know pick himself back up by his bootstraps and sort of say, okay, no, I can be a good detective. I said to, you know, what would Luigi have done if he was here?
There's a great, you know, he does all that, and then at the end of the movie, he ends up chasing Bowser into like an industrial complex, and they have a battle where he manages to like drop, you know, like a crane on top of like a cable and knock it down, and Bowser falls, you know,
into some lava. It's
Into
some molten, like,
into some lava.
Yeah.
Into some molten, yeah, like steel, like Terminator 2 style.
Perfect. I love this.
God,
And then there's a coda after that where Peach comes, you know, and says like, "Thanks for helping me out," you know, or whatever, and like gives him a kiss on the cheek and leaves.
Yeah.
You know, like nothing happens between them, just like always, but it's like a noir version of it.
Yeah, like
That's a good sequence.
she exits his life the same way that she came in. Sorry, Chris, go ahead.
Yeah.
I was just going to say there's a great sequence, too, in which, like, Mario is, like, tailing Bowser, and he doesn't think that Bowser knows what's going on. Or maybe not even Bowser, maybe, like, Lemmy, Koopa, or whatever fucking...
I love the idea that the kids are, like, his goons. That's fucking good.
Oh, yeah.
But he's tailing him, and he, like, rounds a corner all of a sudden, and he sees... you get, like, all of a sudden it's revealed that Lemmy knew he was tailing him, and he just has, like, the bullet bill cannon pointed at him.
Yep. Yeah,
and
the ambush is there.
He's basically like, you know, thought I didn't see or whatever, and he just fires Bullet Bill, and like it's just a sentient bullet that just chases him like in this giant chase sequence, like French Connection style, you know, like.
Oh man, that's super good. I like the idea that
I'm
like
imagining.
Good.
Sorry, good.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I love like I'm just thinking about all the amazing ways we could translate the like something like the battleships
The
into
airships,
like a nightclub, or like you know what I mean, like you go to the the airships, you know, it's like the airship club or whatever, and you go there and it's just like the exterior is like super Vegas-y, built up, lit up really brightly, you know, there's like cannons.
Oh man,
It's like the decor of the place, you know.
Yeah.
There's like the Piranha Plants Club, like the Fire Flower.
oh
Club.
my god, the Fire Flower, or like the P Wing, or like the 1-Up Star or some shit. Like the Fire Flower is really fucking good.
Yeah,
God.
it'd just be like drinks. You could, you know, they'd be ordering drinks like, you know, the Invincibility Star.
Oh man, so
I was just imagine like shy guy behind the bar, and you just can't see what the fuck he's doing. It's just like missing the glass.
Well, he just goes. He spits a little BB out, and it's just your drink.
Yeah, and you're just like, oh, thanks. Here's a floating spinning coin.
no, it's not floating once you collect it. Come on. I like the idea that this place, this club, is like Moroccan themed. It's like a lot of dudes in like vests and no shirt on and like turbans and like the weird like Mario 2 aesthetic. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of like tall
like a Fanto
vases.
there.
Yeah, there's like masks on the walls, and like there's a lot of tall vases with snakes and stuff popping out of them, and like just weird shit like that. You know what I mean? Like it's got like a weird Moroccan vibe to it, which it also just feels for some reason very noir. You know?
Yeah, no, that'd be good. Yeah, I imagine too. Like, there's a sequence where Mario is he's like there's like a dead end. You know, he starts it's like somebody disappeared into this blind alley, and he goes down there and he starts like trying to figure out where he went, and like hitting blocks on the wall, and then one of them is a secret block.
Oh my
And then he
god!
climbs up on top of it, and there's another one.
Yep.
And then he climbs up on top of it, and then there's a vine that grows out of it. And he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
He
you gotta say it like
climbs all
Mario.
the way up into the sky.
Say it like Mario.
What?
The
What the
line you
fuck?
just picked. Yeah, there it is. Okay, cool.
What the fuck?
I like the
Chain
idea
Chomp, by
that
the way, is definitely a bouncer.
that's just his nickname. He's got a lot of chains on him, like Mr. T.
Yeah, but his big head still looks like that.
Oh shit, that's
It's
really
just like
good.
that head. It's just like that head on like Mr. T's body, essentially.
Mario comes up and he just goes, "Arr, arr, arr," like at him.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh man,
All right, I'm going.
There's definitely a scene when like Mario, like Chinatown style, Mario goes to the country club and like all 7 of the kids are there in like fancy things, and like Wendy, the only like criminal female, is there like drinking a martini and like a giant sun hat, and the whole family's there, and like Bowser's there, and they're just like, you know, laughing and kind of whooping it up, and he goes in there and just tries to like, you know, intimidate them, saying like, I'm onto you, I know, and they're like, you know, legally you can't do anything, no matter what you know about me, you know, I still have all the power, and he sort of like leaves dejected, and the rest of the Koopa kids and like the dad are just like laughing at him, like leaving the like country club as they just continue to drink their fucking mint juleps or whatever.
I love the idea that, like, you know, he goes there to investigate Bowser, and they have a scene where they like he's just playing golf while they talk.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
But like
Yeah, and
it's like
Mario
common
golf.
ground.
You know what I mean? Like it's like
Or tennis.
he's doing Mario tennis, and he
Yeah.
just hits like one of those like slices that like just wrecks the other guy, like with a giant fireball that goes behind the ball, like
You're pretty good
to
at
display
this.
his power right before Mario leaves.
Oh man,
There's
how many
definitely
other
mo-
Mario games can we jam into this movie?
Well, I was going to say he doesn't make much money as a detective, which we can set the stakes for. Like, he's not a good detective, right? So at night, he's a referee in a boxing tournament.
Is that a fucking
It's
Mike
so
Tyson's
good.
Punch-Out reference?
Yes.
Yeah, later on, and later on, he has to go get he's like friendly with one of the boxers, you know, and like that guy helps him out later in the movie when he needs some muscle.
It's like Mr. Sandman. Or, no,
I
nobody
need
will
some.
help-
Mr.
Nobody will
Dream.
help him,
It's
so he
It's
just gets
Bald
fucking...
Bull.
I was going to say nobody helps him, so he's just stuck with like Glass Joe and Don Flamenco.
No. It's got to be Bald Bull.
Yeah,
It's gotta
True,
be
yeah,
or
Bald
King
Bull
Hippo.
for sure. Yeah. Does he like dress him up and be like, "All right, you need to dress up in a suit and pretend to be my like bodyguard or so"? Like,
No. Like it's like I need your muscles, and then they go knock some heads, you know.
yeah, I like that.
Like he's like a distraction to go into the warehouse.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
that's
the
so
warehouse.
good,
That's
actually.
definitely a warehouse scene for sure.
Dude,
just gets-
oh my god! There's a great shot at like there's like you see the you hear a noise, like you see it from the perspective of the henchmen, you know, like they're all hanging out outside smoking, and then they hear a noise and they look down the alley and it's just like this dark shape, and then it just
It just
charges
goes,
at them.
Oh, shit.
And then it charges.
Yeah.
It's really good.
and then one guy tries to run away, and all of a sudden this boxer in a turban just disappears behind him and just punches him in
Yeah,
the
it
face.
vanishes and then suddenly behind him. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, it's just all of the Punch Out guys.
Yeah, why not?
do it, help them out.
Glass Joe's just the driver. That's
Oh man, Gabby J.
And then they
I
show
love
up.
this.
It's the bar, right? And then Soda Pop Insky shows up, and he's got some soda.
Yeah, it's a kids movie, so it's got to be soda.
No, but everybody else is drinking and smashed, and he just asks for soda because he's too cool for alcohol.
He's straight edge.
Yeah,
Well,
that's good,
We did it.
man.
We nailed it.
I mean, we just created some excellent some synergy there at the end again.
Yeah, it's it takes us a while to sort of find that gem, but once we do, we just could rock it away.
I don't know. I still think that indie movie about him
No,
sadly eating
sorry,
mushrooms
it's a
at his
student
kitchen
film.
table.
It's a student film now. Sorry. Once you
super
added the peach
depressing-
beat, once you added the peach beat in, it was a student film for sure. It's gonna have some really like overwrought, pretentious, like opera
just
music
imagining-
behind it. You know.
It's like a Todd Solondz movie, like where everybody in it is a horrible person, and there are no redeeming qualities to anyone.
I believe you, but it's still a student film.
I mean, that is really. Whenever time I play Mario, that's usually the top
Yeah,
thought
everyone's
in my
shitty.
head. Yeah.
Yeah,
All
well,
these
like
people-
Mario's like stealing the people's money and like smashing their houses up and like jumping on their walls and like, he's fucking shit up. People are trying to live their lives.
Oh man, I just for the noir, I just imagine the like them calling in the Hammer Brothers.
Oh,
and
the
being like,
closers,
oh,
the
yeah,
fucking like
they're like the
hitmen.
hitmen. Yeah,
Like-
the hitmen.
Yeah, they're like the Kitchen Brothers in Fargo season 2.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I like the idea that Mario is like in his second or third story office and just like a bunch of fucking hammers like fly through the windows.
Oh my
it's
God,
like
yes.
it's like the like drive by with the Tommy guns, except it's like
And then all of a sudden they just float up on clouds.
it's really
so
good.
good.
Yeah, or they
Just
drive away on the
dodging
back of
hammers.
a fucking cart, right?
It's while Toad, he was like interviewing Toad, who's like his only witness. And he's got to like
Yeah,
protect Toad.
and then he
against the
turns around
onslaught
and
of
Toad is
hammers.
dead.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
He's
and
like,
then
he
just a
drops to the
hammer
ground and
comes.
goes, oh my god, and then he gets back up and whew, that was close. And he turns around and Toad is just fucking dead in the chair.
Or Toad gets hit, and like he's like, "Oh, thank God I was wearing this ridiculous fucking hat or protecting me," and he smiles, and then he gets hit again, right in the fucking head by the second
He
hammer.
takes the hat off,
It
like that fucking scene in
destroys
Saving
his
Private
head.
Ryan.
Yeah,
Oh man, so does that mean that like who's his receptionist? Like who's Mario's like desk lady? Is it just a
it's
Toadette?
Toadette.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. This
And
is
there
perfect.
was a budding romance between them. Like they had just seen each other, like Toad and Toadette. When Toad came in, he was like, maybe this witness situation in which I was putting my life in danger is going to be worth it after all. But then the Hammer Brothers show up and fuck everything up.
Yep. He gets a date. He has a date. Like, well, listen, I got to get going. I have a date with your receptionist. And then just
She
fucking
may be
hammers just
related
come through
to
the
me.
window.
And then Toadette comes in after he dies, and she's like kneeling by his corpse and goes, "Get him for me, Mario."
Yeah. Exactly.
Don't
Get those sons of bitches.
And he's like, I thought
make
that
them
you two
all
were-
pay.
I thought that you two were related.
You all look the same. Oh, what you're trying to say? All toads look the same? Is a line, I guess.
Yeah, and then even though he solves the case, he just ends up getting like a sex or like some sort of harassment lawsuit filed against him from Toadette.
He goes back into his office and there's so glass all over the floor and there's just like a case file on his desk and it's a fucking harassment suit.
Yeah,
Oh man, I just imagined the like a jazzy version of like the World 1 theme from Super
Oh,
Mario.
yeah.
Yeah, like played on a saxophone slowly.
That's really good.
I was thinking too
Man.
about when Peach shows up. Like Mario doesn't really trust her because she's had such a history with this Bowser asshole. Like he just keeps having run-ins with him. So he's like, I don't,
How many times has this
You're doing
happened?
it to yourself, yeah.
So wait, so does that mean that is Bowser like an abusive ex-husband? Or like an ex-boyfriend that she keeps getting back together with?
I was just
He
trying to
says he's
tie in
gonna
the thing
change or
where
whatever? No, I think
she
that
keeps getting
me too.
kidnapped.
Like they had an on again, off again relationship, and he keeps like saying he'll change, but he kind of like is abusive and shitty, and she keeps going back to him, and she's like, I don't know why I keep going back to him every.
Well, she's like a low-level drug dealer. She's like what she calls is like her mushroom kingdom. It's really it's something
Fuck
that
off!
she had
That's so dumb.
She has just aligned herself with this like high-level criminal for a
Hang
mushroom
on,
supply.
we've
And,
already
like, kinda-
said you can't make a metaphor about the Mushroom Kingdom when this already takes place in the actual Mushroom Kingdom.
Well, I just did so.
Shit.
It was worth it.
Yeah, no, that was a good one. Well, we did it. This is a really good movie, and I want to make it or watch it at least.
There's a great subplot too there where that's Mario's first exposure to mushrooms and different kinds of mushrooms, and he takes them out of necessity, but he starts to get addicted. Like he gets shot by Bullet Bill or whatever, and he's got like a green mushroom.
Yeah, I need a fix.
And like as he's dying, he just takes it out of necessity, and it's like, he's got like he doesn't sleep for days because he's just fucking strung out on mushrooms, and the case is getting harder and harder, and it's taking a toll on him.
Yeah, I think I was saying before the show started that there's definitely a weird like undercurrent of if you have 100 coins, you can live forever. Like if you have enough money, you never run out of lives. It's like this.
Oh man,
there's definitely a comment on capitalism or like money in this for sure.
Sorry, I think what you do is you have Mario investigating. Like Peach comes in and gives you just enough information that Bowser is trying to hoard in on the Mushroom Kingdom. And then Mario finds out more and more about the Mushroom Kingdom and its nefarious doings.
It's just a gang?
Well, hang on. As he gets into the investigation, you know? But then Bowser takes over, and then he finds out at the very end of the movie, that Peach was the princess of the Mushroom Kingdom. Oh, man.
Okay, so she actually set him up.
Like
she sets
reveal.
Bowser up.
Yeah. And Mario made him took him down for her. So now she's like unfettered.
And he's like disheveled and beaten on the ground, and then like Luigi steps out from around the corner, and he's like, "Oh, still alive the whole time."
I've been watching you.
Brother. Yeah, you thought I was dead, but you were just too naive.
Yeah.
And then
it's impossible to say anything like serious in that voice. It's impossible.
That's
you're right.
why it is the gift that keeps on giving in this movie.
Wait, so does Luigi step up from the shadows and like kiss Peach and they walk off together, or is that a weird thing?
That's the low point of the film.
Or is it the end of the film? I feel like that's the fucking
Mario
last shot.
Mario defeats Koopa, and then he realizes that this is what happened, and then and then he's just sitting there, like presumed to be dead, as Luigi and Peach walk off, and he finds Koopa's supply of flashy sort of stars, and then he just does he rails a line of like invincibility stars, and jumps in a fucking go-kart, and just chases after them.
That's good. And that's how it ends.
Well, it kills Luigi.
Well, I guess we could still have a scene where he like catches up to them because he's high as fuck on like superstars. There's just different types of drug. Like there's superstars, there's fire flowers, there's 1-ups, you know. They're all just different types of drugs that the Mushroom Kingdom is pushing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean this is ripe for some I mean, this has to happen.
Good. I thought you had a really salient point you were going to make, but you just fucking just dropped off a cliff on that one.
I just started talking and then decided halfway through I had nothing to say.
Okay, so this is just this whole podcast then.
So, all right, Nintendo, you're listening. This is good stuff.
Yeah.
Give us millions of dollars to make Mario into a noir, and then give me like $5,000 to make it into a student film.
Yeah, that's all you need.
And,
just buy one camera and some really low rent actors, and that's all you'll need.
Most of that will be spent on just you waited to the last second to get like craft service.
Yeah. Or to pay the fine for like trespassing that the cop like caught you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was thinking it would just be walking around money for any kind of trouble we run into.
Yeah.
Or you just misappropriated your art budget. So like they'll have like amazing costumes, but you didn't get any locations. So
yeah,
you're
so you just secretly filming it.
Yeah, you just filmed it like in your apartment, the whole thing, even though it wasn't written that way.
Yeah, we dressed up the kitchen to look like the supermarket, and
oh, perfect.
Yeah, how many ways can we disguise the same room?
It's all lighting, man. You just do a different light, it's a different room.
It gets really esoteric and weird towards the end.
It's on purpose, though. Like that was an intentional directorial choice to make it look like it's all the same house.
Yeah, I mean the important thing though is that when you screen the film and people don't get it and don't like it, is that you dismiss all of their opinions.
Yeah, you just don't understand my vision.
Yeah, and then you just try to explain why the film was good and they were stupid.
Yeah, that tracks for me.
That's how you do it.
And learn nothing from it. And then you're pretty much every film school student.
I went to film school.
So did I, and I dealt with that idiot 1,000 times. I was that idiot for a minute.
I was going to say, yeah, it sounds a lot like you're that idiot. Look to your left, now look to your right.
That's by the way, I mean, for anybody that gives a shit and listened to this far into the podcast, the biggest thing you can learn at film school is that if you have to explain to people why your thing is good, it's not good. So
I think that goes for any
redo it.
creative endeavor. That's a good lesson.
Yeah.
Well,
So this podcast was really great.
yeah, you got it.
Like, I'm going to tell you something about Mario.
That you didn't even
He's
know.
real deep.
He is now.
You guys, yeah, he's very deep now.
Well,
It's deep.
one of these days we're going to figure out a really good outro, but we don't have one. So thanks for joining us on this really weird Mario adventure that started with an indie film, and now it's a noir, and we'll never get the rights to it because Nintendo will never let another person make another Mario movie. But in case they do, here we are. Thanks for listening.
All right, that's this week's episode. Thanks so much for listening. Please follow us on Twitter at storiedcast and send any feedback to storiedcast@gmail.com. See ya.
Storied is Harrison Pink, Sean Ainsworth, and Chris Rebbert, with music, as always, by Jared Emerson Johnson. Thanks for listening.